All right. Hello, everyone. Today, I have a very special guest. Mr. Bonface is joining us in North Carolina. He is a teacher that I recruited almost 2 years ago now, right? How long has it been?
Right.
Yeah.
It was September 20. We came here September 2024, but the recruitment had happened earlier on.
Yes. And so you've been here for over a year now. So why don't you start off by telling me a little bit about who you are and where you're from?
Good, thank you. So my name is Bonface Shiundu Amumbwe. Of course, from my country, I'm used to Shiundu, but here in the USA, mostly goes by the last name Amumbwe. I'm born from western part of Kenya. There is Mumias, that's in Kenya. That's part of Africa. Of course, from a family of four. I'm the firstborn in my family. Then went to primary school in my village. Again, happened to have school there. Secondary school in my village in a small school. So I would say in my elementary and my high school, just was based in the village, and then I happened to have gotten, of course, now a grade to get to university. And then I went to study for Bachelor of Education at the University of Nairobi. So that's when I got now from the rural side of Kenya and went to Nairobi for my degree. And after that, I think that is when my life from the rural side ended because since when I joined university, my life has just been now in the urban center. So I say in the university, I took the 4 years and then got into workplace in still in Nairobi and its environs and the different places. So in a nutshell, that's what I am. I'm a teacher, of course. I won't fail to say that. I'm a teacher and I enjoy what I'm doing. Thank you.
So, a lot of times, as an international teacher recruiter, I see this a lot where people apply to not just my organization, but many different organizations, and they're
Mm.
not very patient. Whereas I remember you at our job fair years ago at Sankara. Why don't you talk about that day and your story of
Yeah.
patience and resilience?
Yeah, good. You remind me about that story.
Yeah.
Uh, by the way, of course, when I got to Sankara, I found there were many people.
Yeah.
I happened to have just seen the advert in one of the WhatsApp group that I belong, and I said, "Should I trust this or not?" In my country sometimes, and it happens everywhere. There's scammers, so you'll see an advert and then you think, "Oh, it's genuine," and then you find maybe you scammed in one way or another. So I was wondering, should I try or not? Then I said, "Oh, let me just try." So Sankara is a big hotel. So if I'm to be scammed, then this is a public place. And if it goes again, well, that's okay. So I said, why not try? Life is about taking risks. Sorry. So then I decided to make an application because the advert was saying you can appear on Saturday or Sunday. It was a walk-in interview. And then when I applied, of course, I got information that for Saturday should be by invite only, and I decided I will walk in on Sunday. So I came for the interview on Sunday, and when I came for the interview, I found what there were many people there, and of course those our CVs were taken, and after a short while, of course, names were called. So what happened? My name was in the first group that was called, but I had just stepped out to the bathroom. So when I came back, I found names have been called, and then so I said, "Oh, I thought I was wondering." I followed up with there's a gentleman I've forgotten his name who was calling. I followed up with him, and he told me names have been called. But when he came back for for the second time. So he said, once again, Bonface Shiunda Mumbai. And I said, oh, my chance. I missed it first time, and now again, my chance is here. So that's when I came. So, and we were in the waiting room. I happened to be the last person to be interviewed. So I was waiting there, of course, up to late hours. The interview went ahead. Asked when can I expect maybe the feedback. It was, I think, it said like a week.
Mhm.
And I was waiting. I was not seeing the reply. But just one day, pop, I see an email from Yasmin and I say, congratulations. I said, here comes my opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I say patience, it counts patience just from the even from the first day of my interview, being patient up to being interviewed the last person, and after that, waiting for the feedback. Again, being patient to wait for the feedback. And the journey up to coming to USA, it is counts of patience. So someone may have applied to different organizations, having done even interviews, and still you're not getting replies. But it counts. It's the journey to USA, and even living in USA itself, it is a journey of patience. That's what I will tell many people who are looking forward to get to US and many other places as an international teacher. Yeah.
Yeah. And I will say that day in Sankara, you must have really wowed them because number one, you were a walk-in. So
Yeah.
actually, we had over 700 people show up to that job fair. And had I known, it was our first job fair in Kenya, had I known that so
Uh-huh.
many people would have showed up, I would have made the whole thing invite only. Um,
Yeah.
and even from the perspective of the interviewers, it's such a long day because they start, we get there at 8, they start at 9, and by the time they got to you, it was around 5 o'clock. So for them, even they are exhausted and just ready to go home. So for you to be the last person when they're so exhausted too, and even a walk-in, and they thought, okay, we need this guy. So that was really cool and amazing. And it felt good for me too, because I thought, I don't want him to just sit here and wait all day for nothing because it was such a long day for everybody. But I was really glad when you got hired, ultimately in the end. Yeah, so we talked about patience, and how about can you talk about your journey? So after you got the email from me saying that you were hired, it's still a long waiting game until you finally got to the US. So what was that like, and what was your journey coming to the US like?
Wow, good. By the way, when I think my journey to USA was defined way because just the day I went for the interview, I had just received my passport a day before.
Wow.
So so initially my passport had expired, so I had to renew it, and then I was waiting for quite some time. But when I just been invited for the interview, I received an email that I should go for the passport a day before. So I said, let me go for it. And then after getting the email from you, I had to prepare my documents. I had to get, of course, my foreign credential evaluation and, of course, do the evaluation from my university and also fill the Form E from my previous employers and current employers and of course get through the process of waiting for the approval. There is, and
Mhm.
of course you being someone who works it, it, but maybe just because we're sharing for all of those who are watching, the process of getting the approval, because you get a job, yes, but you have to be patient for the USIS to approve you so that you get to USA. So getting the offer is one thing, and getting to USA is a different thing. So I was waiting. I could see friends saying, "I've gotten my approval. I've gotten my approval," and I'm wondering when is mine coming. We were asking, And I could ask maybe others who are still waiting, have you gotten yours? And they say no. So I had to wait, of course, for some time. And of course, again, one day it came, uh, uh, received my approval. And that's when I went for the interview to US Embassy in Nairobi. Of course, I had to book the interview and went for the interview. After the interview, I think the other process was quick. Apart from the interruption of our traveling that happened because we were to travel, I think, on 12th of September, and then there was uh, a demonstration or a strike of airport workers. So we didn't travel that day. But for me, I always take it was divine because I had some unfinished business in my, of course, in my family. So it
Yeah.
was divine in one way or another because in my previous employment, I had just worked up to the day before I was to leave, not because they had forced me to, but I just wanted to ensure that I get everything in place so that when I'm leaving, whoever is taking over from me has a smooth transition. And I had to work up to late hours. And the day before, they were holding a handover party for me. So I remember leaving the hotel at around 1 a.m. and I have to travel again the next day. So when the strike happened and I was not to travel and we had to wait for another week, for me, I said it is divine. But I want to say the process of waiting for the approval and then the journey you have to travel, the the traveling itself, even the flight, in, over 19 hours in the plane. That was my first flight, long flight. That was just wondering. We're not reaching. It was a long journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Nairobi to USA is very long. So even the traveling itself is still a journey of patience.
Mhm.
So it
Yeah.
requires.
So who was the first person you called when you found out you got the job? Do you remember?
Oh, the first person, of course, when I got the job, I called my wife.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, and I told her I just received an email from Yasmin telling me congratulations that you got a job. And then second one, I called one of my confidants. We schooled together in the university and remains to be a confidant up to today. So I called him and told him I've gotten a reply because even when I was going for the interview, I had informed him before. So I just said I've gotten an email from the recruitment firm and telling me congratulations and I have the offer. And they said, wow, this is great. We thank God. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So, the journey of patience continues because even when you landed in the airport and we picked you up, um, oh, okay, it's okay. D Do you have to?
Oh, just a minute.
Okay. All right. So when you landed at the airport and we picked you up, it was still a long drive down to North Carolina, where you are now. And I remember, I think you were in my car, right?
Yes, I was
Yes.
in your car.
And I had to go get some more clothes. I realized, okay, I'm gonna be here
Yeah,
for a while. So I went to my mom's house and she said, "Oh, what are you doing here?" I said, "Well, I have these teachers in the car." She said, "Oh, let me offer them tea." And I said, "Okay, great. Kenyans love tea." But I had no idea what Kenyan tea actually was with the milk and everything you all do. So, in
yeah,
my house, the way we drink tea is just hot water in a tea bag. I had no idea that Kenyans have this elaborate process with that. So that was maybe the first cultural difference even I learned about people from Kenya. But do you remember your first day, your first week? I know you have a story about Chinese food and we took you to McDonald's. What was all of that like?
yeah.
So what was that like? What was going through your head? Were you just exhausted? What was different for you? Were things you immediately noticed that were so different?
Yeah, getting to, of course, learning to Washington Duel, that was a great experience. Of course, just having to see at the level of planning in the airport, I was excited, of course, just to see how there is a lot of excellence. That's what maybe I will say, a good level of excellence in the kind of operation. And when we landed, of course, there was a little bit training. And of course, we went
Yes.
to the cars. You say again, still a long journey. But one thing I noted was the way the infrastructure is structured here, especially the road infrastructure. There are on the highways, you have the roads, and then you just find there are no, of course, there are no towns along the highways because they're just trees. That's one thing I've liked that towns are, or rather cities, have structured a poor away from the highways. And of course, again, moving from Washington to here was again a long journey. But you reminded me of the story when we went to your mom's house and we were taking tea.
Yeah.
And we were adding sugar and getting more sugar. We almost
Yeah.
finished all the sugar.
Yeah, and we don't
Uh,
use it at
eh,
home. And so actually a year later when I picked up another lady from Kenya, we started talking about tea and she said,
eh,
in Kenya, if you just give someone hot water in a tea bag, they think you're really cheap. And I said,
yeah.
well, I actually did this for my first group of teachers, and I guess they all must have thought like I'm really cheap, but it's just a difference. So what was the story about the Chinese food? Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah, the Chinese food. That night, of course, yeah, the different. Of course, on the first day, when we were going to get food from different places, being the first time, we could go to the restaurants and you don't know what food it is because I've not read the way we call it in Kenya and the way we call it here, you find it's different. So I could go, you find call one, you say chips, and
Mhm.
I order chips. But the chips we're having is not the same. In Kenya, we say chips
French
is the
fries.
French fries.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only fine, because here you should just talk about the fries. So you order chips and then you find something different. So the different food and all the different names. For some of them, because you find you order and then you get it's different tastes, so all those differences. And so you could find that we had not been used to the kind of food that we are having. That was different. So first day having different, we had to move to different places that will be having accommodation. I remember that day. And then on the second day, we were moved. Yeah, of course, the first day I remember we slept in the you know the hotel where you had gotten accommodation for us, and that was so excellent from you that you had planned our accommodation and everything. The hotel was just excellent again. It was great. And so on the second day, we were getting to our respective areas where we were sleeping. So after Anto had taken us all through, and then we get to house. I remember Anto asking us, "Are you going to have food?" And we said, "Yes, we'll be okay." He asked, "Are you sure? Because if you don't have food, I'll take you to the hotel." And we said, "We are sure." So we had thought that we will be able to cook, to rather to prepare food from the house. But when we got to the house, I think we noted we were missing. There was something we were missing. So I think we didn't have some of the cooking items. So Anto had again now to take, and it was now very late. So he said there should be a Chinese restaurant that opens up to late hours. So he took us there. And then we were buying because I remember the waiter asking us, the person who was serving, asking us, "Do you want the large size or the small size?" And some of us were saying large size because we had stayed for long. You get the large size of rice. And he was asking us, "Are you sure you'll finish the large size?" Then we had to change and say, "No, small." Now, the kind of rice that we got, only to find when we go to the house, only to find it that it was different from what we used to. So that culture differences will always come. But I always tell people it's just a matter of time because for now I go to restaurants, I go to hotels different, we go to meetings, and I will take the food that is being served comfortably, and I have no problem. So it is always just a matter of time, and then you find you're used to, you now know the names, you know places, and so on. Because I remember we went to Chipotle.
Yes.
Yeah, and Chipotle, every time, of course, when I go to Rocky Mount, if I just want to go and get some meal, sometimes even my family, by the way, just we just go to Chipotle, buy the food there, and come eat from the house
Yeah.
because we like it. When I picked my wife, so also the same way, when we were coming to my place, we stopped at Chipotle, got some food, and then come. So she also likes Chipotle. So
Yeah.
always,
Everyone I've noticed with Kenyans, they're all okay with Chipotle. The
uh,
rice, beans, meat, the avocado. Yeah.
mm,
So let's talk about the next day. You had to go right away to school. That was a very chaotic day for everyone since you all were so exhausted. And then the next day you were put into school. So what was that like? Was the school what you thought it would look like? Or, what went through your mind?
when we went to school, you see, I remember I was in, and I think it's Anto who was taking me to
Yeah.
school together with, sorry, with the other teacher. So we went took I think team in one school, and I was wondering. So when they left the car and now they're going, just wondering, wow, it's now going to be me next time. And
Yeah.
wondering, what is it that awaits me? See, so we went again to the second school. They lighted. Now say so. I was the last one who was now being dropped at school. So I remained with the two because he had tried to call the school just to tell them that we were coming, and he had not gotten them in the phone. So he had to just come with me. But the rest he had called them earlier on, so they were
Yeah.
aware. So we came with Anto to school, and then he dropped me. And of course, we went to the office, and then they handed me over to the MCL. And I was just wondering, how will it be? But for me, I'm pretty sure I got a supportive MCL. MCL is multi-classroom leader. So he's a teacher who models, is to mentor, co-teach. He's supposed to support beginning teachers or international teachers or any other teacher. But of course, they are specialized in different subjects. So, and of course, not all schools again have MCLs. So it's only that lucky my school because it's K8 and so it's big. It has an MCL. So the principal handed me to the MCL, so who took me now to my class in US. Of course, different from Kenya, where you will maybe just stay in the staff room in the office, and you will go to class when it's your time to class. Here, you have the classroom as your office.
Mhm.
So she took me to the classroom, but of course she was supportive because she was teaching the whole class. So at that particular day, she just told me, "You wouldn't have come if you were tired." But of course, we had to come the first day for our payroll to start counting.
Yeah.
So as far as it was tough, but coming that first day again, the second day was necessary so that we start counting our pay. But she told me, "You wouldn't have come if you had just arrived." And I said, okay. So the first day I just sat and she was teaching as I watched. So that was it.
Sure.
But that fear, what awaits me, will always be there. Yeah.
Of course, yeah, it's normal. But now, I mean, you know your school like the back of your hand.
I well. But I was yes, it was yesterday we were having a meeting with her. Of course, she continues to mentor and observe and work with all teachers, whether you are an old teacher or you're new, because that is her duty. She doesn't teach herself, but that is her duty to observe and evaluate all teachers. So I was excited. She told me that in the uh, from grade 3 all the way to grade 8, she finds me to be one of the solid teachers who are consistent and who are straight to what is expected to be done. And of
That's
course, who are
awesome.
firm. So, yeah, I was excited about it. Just to hear that she's telling me all the grade from grade 8 to grade 3. I mean, from the third grade to the eighth grade, that she finds me to be among just, she says, like, she will say, like, three teachers are the ones that she finds to be very solid,
That's
and I will be among them. That was exciting.
awesome. Yeah, that's amazing. Um,
Yeah.
so what are some big differences that were maybe difficult for you to adjust at first, or things that shocked you when you first started teaching compared to what you were used to back in Kenya?
For me, I think one of the greatest thing that was an adjustment that was to happen was on behavior management.
Mm,
Uh, that was one of the greatest things because I think in my country you'll like let me say that a teacher is a firm authority.
mhm,
Yeah, yeah. So when a teacher speaks, you'll find students who will mostly just get to do it. Of course, issues to do with behavior are there, but the way you'll handle it, I think that the issue is how to approach it will be different. And again, understanding the students. So, like for me, of course, in the first day, like the MCL was teaching the entire of the first week as I just watched. So
mhm,
she could teach, I watch, and I could teach with her. Maybe when there are some areas to support, I do that. Now, when we go to the second week, she decided she was teaching the first block, and then I could take over this second block and the third block. Now, this is the time when I was left in the classroom alone in the second week, and now I'm alone. So
mhm.
that's when the students say, "Now we got you."
Yeah.
But before I came, she used to send me emails because I got a privilege that I was in contact with my school even when I was still in Kenya. So she could send me email that, oh, your students are really excited. They're waiting for you. They're asking when will you be here. So when I came, and then now the second week and now left, so they said we were waiting for you. So the class students were all over. This student is talking. This student is talking. This one is moving this way. You trying to talk to them. No one is listening, and so on. And it was just a tough situation.
Yeah.
But of course, so that I would say that was one of the things that I had to learn on how to manage students, and I think that's one of the greatest things that any teacher who is aspiring to be an international teacher need to work on classroom management. So I had to learn from MCL. I had just went and sat with her and I said, I need to learn how to manage my class. And of course, I had to learn a number of things I've had to unlearn because the things I had gotten and I had to drop them and again relearn. When you are new, sometimes you want to copy things from course how other people are doing, other teachers are doing. And for the first year, it is something that will happen. You also wondering how do things happen here? So you just want to copy. But now being in the second year after you copied, and now you get to yourself, and now just be the real you. So I've unlearned other things, and now I'm just real me, getting to be consistent with what I need to do, but with the real me, not having copied just from others. And now students come in my class, and I'm able to manage them. They know the schedule, they know the routines of the class, they know the expectations, they know what they need to do. Because sometimes they will fail, but just have to give the reminders. And again, you understand, they are scholars. And of course, for me, putting in mind, I'm in middle school.
Mhm.
I know you know the classes in here, being in middle school. So you understand that I'm in middle school, and so I just give reminders. But I'll say, we've gotten it, and we're good.
Yeah.
Mm,
So, in my opinion, I find that the most successful people, once they come
mm,
to the US, no matter where they're from, are people who are always willing to learn and accept feedback and even constructive criticism. What do you
uh-huh.
think about that? What, qualities do you think set people up for success?
Yeah, feedback is very important. Of course, just as you said, feedback, because you'll do things. And of course, if they are okay, good. That's great. But I think one of the things that for me, I always focus on someone telling me where I did not do it right. Because that is the area I want to unlearn and I want to improve. Because the area I did well, I've already gotten it. And that's okay. Of course, it's good also maybe to let me know that this area did well. And I will want to maybe continue doing it okay. But that area I didn't do well. If I'm able to get to know it, it helps me to improve and just work better to ensure that I be a better teacher for today and tomorrow. So feedback is important. And of course, as we said, learning here in the USA, things keep on changing. So you have to have a learning spirit. If you don't have a learning spirit, I don't think that person will make it here. So you have to be willing to learn, because there is a lot of information, so many things. Both, of course, not just again in the schools, in the classes. So it is in the classes and even outside. There's a lot of information that you'll find you do not know, and that affects how you live here, how you interact with people, how you teach, and so on. So you have to be willing to learn. And when you hear some information again, you may find some of the information may not be correct. You have to be willing to leave what you had gotten and just again get new information, and that happens. So you have to be willing to learn. Going back to feedback again, one of the feedback is from the students. You will teach, and students, some students will just tell you, oh, they will like they feel awful. They feel you didn't you didn't do anything, and you have to accept that my students have felt that they didn't probably get me as a teacher. So what do? You go ahead and find out how will I be able to penetrate into the students. We talk about creating a relationship with the students. So you go ahead and when you, of course, get feedback from the students and just get to know, I'm not getting it, I'm not delivering. Then you go ahead and find out how will I be able to ensure that I'm meeting these students, so that I'm not just a teacher only, but we are able to learn in the classroom. And here, if the students are not getting it, you'll have a rough time in class. Not that, yeah, they will, of course, now be disruptive. But if they're getting it, that's when now you want to find at least they settle down and you're able to do your work. So feedback from the administration, feedback from even the students themselves. It's
That was
very
a really good point and an interesting perspective. I've never even thought of it that way, but you're definitely
uh,
right about that. So, um, what is some maybe general advice you would give anyone who wants to move to the US? This could be just about how to prepare themselves or any culture shocks, just any advice that you would give anyone.
uh, for any person who's looking forward to move to USA as a teacher, because I would say it is a great country, number one, and there is a good vision, good desire for anyone, because you get to learn many things and new perspective on being a global teacher. Of course, as we said, we talked of the journey of patience. So it requires patience. You have to, for me, I know when I went for the interview and the first time I happened to have gotten the offer, yes, but it is not the same story to everyone. Yeah, so you have to be patient. And of course, you have to prepare. There's about a lot of preparation. When I was going for the interview, of course, as an individual, I knew I had prepared well for the interview. That's why he's saying when I got even at the last person, but I had prepared well. Being the last person, I was being interviewed at around 5 when the interviewers were already tired. Having interviewed the day before and again on Sunday, and they were very tired, but happened to still have gotten through it. You have to prepare and then also putting all your documents in place, your documents in order. That is very important. Your passport, foreign credentials evaluation, and any other documents that you require. Because in the USA, without preparation, then again you won't make it. Be open to information. Be quick, of course. That's how I say learning. There's a lot of information so if you're not willing to get information, you will miss it. So someone should be willing to get to information. If someone is here, of course, you have to be consistent in what you're doing. Consistent is very key because if you not yourself, then it means that one or two things you wanna miss it. But once people realize that this is you, you're consistent in what you're doing, then you want to get it. And once someone is here with, I would say about the life here, of course, when you come in the USA as you have expectations, and of course, anyone, we agree. USA is a developed country. It is a first world country. They say it's one way you talk is a superpower. So anyone coming here, you have very high expectation, and there are so many people who have high expectations on you. You have to learn to manage your expectation. That's what I tell people. You have to manage your expectations because you come and you have very high expectation, and then you think you'll just be doing anything anyhowly. Then you find you start living a life that is not yours. You'll get it tough. So you have just find this is what I have, this is what I'm able to do, this is how I should live, this is how I should manage even people at home, that this is my standard. Once you manage your expectation, then you're able to live within your means and able now to do one or two things. Otherwise, if you just live with the beyond your level expectation, you get frustrated. That's when you hear people are here and they're frustrated and they're saying things are not working. Why? Because you've just set yourself beyond where you should be. That's what I could tell people.
Yeah, that's really good advice. I think a lot of people assume that the US is just like the movies, but it's a huge country and
Yeah.
everybody thinks that until they come and yeah. All right. So Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. I think I'm going to end it here. Is there anything else you want to say, or do you feel like you've said it all?
Oh, good. Thank you. I think there's a lot, of course, that we could say, but for now, I want to just say that maybe those who having the dream to USA, keep the dream true, keep it living, never give up, even if it takes time, it takes years. Don't give up because the life is not about for those who quit. It's about for those who stay in it. It is not yet over until it's over. Because sometimes things get tough, and then you think I just need to quit. No. So if you have that dream, if you have that goal, you keep it valid and continue working towards it. As I said, information is out. So there are so many things that we could talk in preparation, in living, but I think what we have discussed is able to give someone just an aspect and a starting point of what to do, what to prepare, and how life is. And I know, just as you said, you started this channel, so that is a great thing that we want to be open for people to get information. So anyone who is just looking forward to more information can always follow your channel and get more information, and or maybe give the comments and reach out, and you can always share more advice, more input of what people need, and we can always be there to support and share what is required. But for now, I think that's good, you know.
Yeah, that was a great message of perseverance and motivation. So thank
Yeah.
you so much. I appreciate you joining me.
Thank you so much.